Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome in. We are live today from Prince Edward Park in Papakura for the Papakura Seagulls versus the Northcote Tigers. We're about half an hour away from kickoff. As we build towards kickoff, we're going to hear from the two coaches and a representative from the Papakura club as well. So a very short break for us before we hear from the two coaches, Papakura Seagulls and the Northcote Tigers. Back in a minute. We're now joined by Jeff Morton, head coach of the Northcote Tigers. Jeff, back for another round this year. You lost a fair bit of talent over the off-season. Did you expect to be 4-0 to start the season?
If I'm being honest, probably not. Yeah, we did. We lost a fair bit of talent.
Yep.
The boys that have come in, a lot of local juniors and all that sort of stuff. We've got a couple of guys in that we've got from other clubs, but once again, they're from sort of reserve grade boys that have come up, and yeah, mate, they're all doing a job. It's good.
A couple of clear standouts for you. I think Machu Stone Dunn in particular at fullback. What's he brought to this team?
A little bit of class. He's very, very good at what he does. His talk's good, especially on the defensive side of the ball. You know, he gets the boys in the right spots. He gets the numbering right. Yeah, mate, he's just, yeah. A little bit of confidence too for the team. You know, he's such a good player, and such his skill set's very, very good. So, yeah, no, it's been good.
You lost a fair bit of leadership as well, with obviously Trent Schonkel and your captain Taylor Daniels leaving. Who's really stepped up in that leadership department for you so far this year?
Oh, a couple of the old boys, mate.
Okay.
Eddie's taken on the captaincy role. Davey Barner's taken on the leadership role. They're good, mate. They help steer things around. You know, if things are starting to go a little bit pear-shaped at training, they'll step in and make a bit of noise and sort things out. And yeah, we're back on track. So no, it's good. You know, a couple of the old boys that we've got there from the club. They've come through the system at the club. Mm-hmm. They know how the club operates and how the team operates, and you know how both squads operate. So yeah, it's good.
We look at the ladder and you're 4-4, that's one thing, but I'm sure there's plenty that you want to improve on. How do you assess the first 4 weeks in terms of what's worked and what hasn't?
Yeah, we're getting used to our systems. We're starting to understand what we're supposed to be doing and how we're supposed to be doing it. The halves are starting to, you know, take on a role where they're starting to direct things around. They can see what we're trying to do and see what's going on with the other teams. So, yeah, mate, as I said, we started with a pretty basic game plan and we're still running it. You know, we're starting to add little bits and pieces to it now. And the boys just seem to be grabbing it and running with it. So we'll just keep going as we are, mate.
You come up against the Papakura team today with a fairly notable spine, Willie Stowers, guys like Drew Radich and Phoenix Hunt. What are you expecting from the Seagulls today, Jeff?
Very tough game as always. You know, they're defending their home pitch. They're a very good football. The way they're on the ladder probably doesn't do them justice. You know, they're a talented squad, and like you said, they've got some key players that are experienced and are very good at what they do. So we're going to make sure we get on top of them.
And what does your team need to do very well today to ensure you get the 2 points?
Basic league, mate. Completions and tackle.
The usual.
Yeah, the usual.
Okay, now turning to a sadder note, Jeff, one of your players who has come on board this year, Zay Wallace, a young player who has come down. He's very sick in hospital right now and not doing too well. What can you tell us about Zay and how he's doing?
Mate, he's not well, but he seems to have sort of stabilised a wee bit. It's not getting any worse. Okay. It's just time, I think, now. You know, a bit of time. The hospital's working hard on him. You know, we get feedback from Mum and Dad as to how it's going on and everything else, and you know she's doing very, very well considering the strain she must be under with it all. But yeah, look, our heart goes out to them. You know, and we're trying to do as much as we can as a club to make sure he's still part of what we're doing, and our his situation is foremost in the boys' minds all the time. So yeah, it was a big shock when it happened.
Absolutely, yeah, and of course on behalf of all of Auckland Rugby League, we extend our thoughts to Zay Wallace and his family through this time. Now, there is a fundraiser going as well. You can jump onto the Auckland Rugby League Facebook page and also the Northcote Tigers Facebook page there. A Give a Little, which I think has got something like 22,000 raised so far, so brilliant effort from friends and family and the Auckland Rugby League community. So if you can contribute, we very much appreciate it and help Zay along in his recovery. All right, Jeff, we're going to let you go and finish warming the boys up. All the best today and thanks for joining us.
Cheers.
Pleasure now to welcome in Spencer Taplin, head coach of the Papakura Seagulls. First year at the club, Spencer. You've come on board and I know changed a few things around. How are you finding life in the Fox?
Yeah, no, it's good. It's exciting. I love it. Like each week we're getting challenged and things are popping up and slowly addressing them and moving forward with them. But no, I love the comp. The games have been fairly close and competitive is the word, and yeah, we just keep moving forward. That's the whole thing. But I love the comp, love what it has to offer, and I'm glad. Like I think the teams we've played so far, like they've been fairly competitive games, right to the end, and that's what you want.
Absolutely. You start a season with the victory over Bay Roskill. Struggled a little over the last 3 weeks, although very close losses. What in your mind has sort of been going wrong in the last 3 weeks?
I think what's sort of highlighted when you come up against, I suppose, quality opposition is just a little bit connecting, a little bit getting familiar with the new game plan that's been implemented. A lot of that's time, and obviously time with each other, and also implementing the new game plan. And then it's hopefully today's the day we sort of be a bit more consistent and click is the word.
Now you've got a star spine at the club, obviously when everyone's fit, the likes of George Edwards, Willie Stowers, Drew Radich, Phoenix Hunt, the reigning Auckland Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Been a struggle to get all those guys on the field at the same time, but how is that combination kind of progressing in your eyes?
It's growing. I think it's sort of everyone offers something different, and I suppose for my challenge as a coach is making sure I exploit their strengths but also connect them in a team element. They bring a lot of experience. They bring a lot of good leadership skills as well, and I've put some young boys around them who are really loving the Fox at the moment, and it's also just moving forward. I just got to utilise those boys as much as possible, as well as making sure I'm growing the boys around them as athletes as well.
Now, your role at the club isn't just about coaching the Fox team. I know yourself and Carmen have been doing a little bit around, I guess, club culture and that sort of thing. What can you tell us there about, I guess, some of the values you're trying to instill in the Papakura Seagulls?
Oh, I think it's just all about valuing people, and giving everyone an input into what a healthy club looks like, and creating that. You've got to give everyone a voice and a forum to express that voice. And when doing so, once they've expressed it, it's about putting it into action. And we'll get in there. It's cool. Like, it's not just about the teams at the top, the reserves and top side. It's about making sure we're healthy at that foundation, which is our juniors and the grades coming through, and creating those pathways is real special as well and cool.
Now, come up against the Northcote Tigers team who are undefeated so far, a perfect 4 from 4. What are you expecting from the Tigers today, Spencer?
They've played together. There's some players that have played together for a little while, and there's experience there, and it just highlights how just having having a team connecting and understanding what they should be implementing. I expect a good, tough game from Northcote. I don't expect anything less. I expect my boys to really respond and put things together. Like, we're coming close, but it's just not good enough, and I let them know that too. At the end of the day, I said, boys, it's all about the W, and that's what counts. So expecting a good, tough game, but at the same time, I'm wanting the boys to really rectify what we've been sort of missing in the last couple of weeks.
And every game you've been in this year, I think, has been fairly close on the scoreboard. Does that perhaps give you a bit of an advantage? You're very accustomed to the grind at this point? Yeah. We grind well. It's just the inconsistency that we're having a little bit of trouble with.
And that's what we've been addressing all this week in our trainings. And like, you know, and the boys have sort of said it too, it's about just putting it out on the paddock, you know, and that's what we're looking for, that 80 minutes of consistency and what we sort of want. So, yeah, hopefully, yeah, it'd be good.
All right, Spencer, we're going to let you go and finish preparing the boys. Thank you very much for joining us, and good luck today.
No, thank you.
Excellent. Now we're going to take a very short break before Troy comes in with a representative from the Papakura Seagulls Club.
Cool. Thanks, Dan.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Troy Hardy with the Auckland Rugby League. A special welcome in to all the islands around Pacifica who are joining us on the live stream. And today I'm with Kevin Mitchell, the chairman of the Papakura Seagulls, who are hosting us today. Kev, field's looking fantastic. Bit of work happened down here.
Oh, well, yeah, the council have done a wonderful job over the summer, haven't they? They've had the sprinklers going, and so it's looking pretty lush and nice, yeah.
Now let's talk a little bit around the club. You know, the sort of start that you're expecting for the season.
If you're talking about the premiers, it's always hard, you know, with a new coach coming in, and he's got to make his mark. You know, Spencer's, as you know, fairly new to the job of coaching at premier level. Anyway, he's coached our under-20s in the past. Quite successfully, but it's one thing to coach a under-20 side, and it's another thing to coach a premier side. You know, it's a big step up. So, you know, he's assembled a pretty good squad of guys. I think at this stage they haven't quite gelled, but you know they're a work in progress. You know.
Okay. Having a look around the fields here today, and I see some of the sponsors' flags are going up, mate. We sort of touched on that before the interview. Sponsorships, there an opportunity there for some people to get involved with the Seagulls.
Always an opportunity, you know, to you know, improve our revenue stream and sponsorship. Yeah, you know, if anyone would like to help us out with sponsorship, and we're certainly very pleased to talk to them. Yeah.
Is the live stream important then in regards to promoting the game, and you know, what are your thoughts on that?
Similar to last year, this is a wonderful thing that Auckland Rugby League are doing, and I think it's important. It's also important in terms of getting sponsorship.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, it's probably one of the most important parts of us able to sell, you know, packages to our sponsors is the live streaming. So yeah, incredibly important and incredibly important for rugby league altogether in the promotion thereof.
And in regards to the club activities, you know, like if there was a young girl, boy wants to come down and join the club, what's the best way about doing that? Who would they get in contact with?
Well, it depends whether they're juniors or seniors. We've got a junior committee run by Gladys Cairns, who'd love to hear from anyone. Or if they wanted to play in our senior realms or ranks, to get hold of Elwyn Peters, and failing that, get hold of me. You know.
Done.
Yeah.
And then a little bit of a roundabout activity with the club, you know, at the Seagulls. I understand big gala day here tomorrow. Got all the kids coming over. Can we talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, I'll be down here as a judge. Pat Carthy's very keen for me to be down here and do the judging. Last year I did it, and it was awesome. You know, something that I think is wonderful is coming down and seeing all the kids playing footy at the best of times. But you know, these galas are even a better thing to do. You know, well, you know, it's great.
Look, mate, I know you're busy and we sort of kidnapped you today before the main game goes off. What are your thoughts about today's match going up against the Northcote Tigers?
Northcote are travelling extremely well, and they have been well coached, and they've been putting, getting together and a better and better squad, and yeah, they're going to be very, very difficult to win against. But I wouldn't write us off either, because there's some pretty talented young fellows running around on our side, and I think Spence, little by little is sort of, able to forge, some, week by week anyway, some more cohesion, and both defensively and on attack.
Okay. Well, look, Kevin, on behalf of the Auckland Rugby League, want to wish you the best of luck today. More importantly, thanks very much for hosting us down here on behalf of the Auckland Rugby League. Don't go away, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting ready for the big game here today at Prince Edward. We're going to throw out to the reserves match now as we start getting ready for the build-up for today's game. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we're watching the last few minutes of the reserves match here between Papakura Seagulls and the Northcote Tigers, it's of great pleasure to be sitting next to Dean Lonergan. How are you, Dino? What are you doing on Papakura?
Very well, Troy. My young fella's playing his first game in probably 3 years for Northcote. He's on the reserve grade bench, and mate, I used to love it. It was the highlight of my life, I've got to tell you, going to watch my young fella play. He played for about 3 or 4, maybe 5 years. And I used to go every weekend, and at the moment I'm sort of domiciled in Australia, doing a whole lot of boxing stuff over there. But he gave me a call the other day and says, "Dad, I've got some news." I says, "Well, don't tell me your girlfriend's pregnant, son." He says, "No." He said, "No, I'm going to be playing reserve grade for Northcote at Papakura." I says, "Well, I'm going to have to come home for that." So I booked a plane last night and come home, and mate, it's just, this is one of the great things to do if you're a parent, is to come out and watch your kids do it. And here at Papakura, the ground is nothing short of stunning.
Absolutely.
It's just a great day out, and really enjoyed it.
Mate, it's really special to have one of the legends of the games to come back to grassroots footy, and watching your son here play today. What sort of critiquing will you be offering, and what sort of advice will you be offering in today's match?
I think he's done really, really well. He's gone forward all day. He hasn't dropped the football at all. Hasn't missed any tackles. And when you haven't played for 3 years, that's a pretty good day at the office.
So, Dean, there's you touched on you're in Australia now, mate. What are you doing with yourself?
Mate, I've got I'm working hard out in boxing. I'm a promoter of a fairly high-profile guy over there called Jeff Horn, who he beat Manny Pacquiao a couple of years ago. We fought at Suncorp Stadium. And I'm starting to do a little bit around rugby league over there as well from a promotional capacity. But I've got a 30-fight contract over the next 3 years with Fox Sports. So that's a big deal to me at the moment. I'm sort of up and down.
On the outside
the boys on the outside. Look left. Oh, God, he looked left, but the number 6 comes screaming under the post to touchdown. Northcote Tigers 38-6 at the moment with kick to come. You've got to say they're going to take the game out.
Oh, boy, what an absolute score to have you here today, Dean Lonergan. Well, mate, look, I'm going to let you enjoy the rest of the game now. I'm going to start to hand back to Corey as we start the build-up now for today's main clash. It's always good to catch up with a legend, mate.
Pleasure, brother.
Cheers, mate.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. We're live from Prince Edward Park. If you're just tuning in, a couple of minutes away from kickoff in Papakura, up against Northcote. As always, I'm joined by Troy Hardy in the commentary box. And Troy, a bit of a special treat today, getting to hear from Dean Lonergan, and someone I think you had a bit to do with back in the day. Always good to see a former legend back down supporting grassroots footy.
Absolutely, and the fact that he just about witnessed his son scoring a try on his first day back, it's very pleasing to have Dean here, and it was really, really cool to see him back here, catching up, watching his boy first game back. So well done.
Okay, we're going to get fairly well into it now. We're about 7 minutes away from kickoff, so we're going to start with the Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship ladder as we see the two teams just lining up there to show their thanks to the volunteers who have helped make their game possible. And by the look of that, it was, I think, Northcote who got up for the victory in that reserve grade game. So a look now at the Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship ladder. And at the top, it is the Otara Scorpions, Te Aratu Roosters, Pakuranga Jaguars, and Pukekohe Pythons all tied on 10 points. Troy, what about this competition? The four teams all tied on the 10 points, and then only 1 point back to fifth place Ellerslie. This is shaping as one heck of a run home in that comp.
Absolutely, and the gauge of interest that's involved in this, just the following and the ladder, when it gets published on your our Facebook page, there's 40,000 people looking at this. It's got high anticipation, and you have to wonder whether the head coach from Ellerslie is ruining that draw, keeping him out of those numbers, being in the top group.
A little further back, it's the Hibiscus Coast on 8 points, New Lynn on 8, Manukau on 7. So even for those teams, still very much in reach of that top four. Remembering top four secures you promotion to the Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship, while the rest will drop down to the SAS Shaman Cup. A little further back, Northern Brothers on 4 points, along with Mount Wellington, Waitemata, and at the bottom, without a victory so far, Ponsonby and Papatoetoe. And in action today, Ellerslie take on Pukekohe at the Ellerslie Domain. That's going to be
Big
one heck
clash,
of a game. And, it's not a must-win for Ellerslie by any means just yet. But certainly if they could pick that one up, puts them in a very good position. They would leapfrog Pukekohe into the top four. Northern Brothers are home to the Newland Stags. Ponsonby travel away to take on the Te Aratu Roosters. Papatoetoe up against the Hibiscus Coast Raiders. Pakuranga with a chance to cement themselves in that top four when they travel away to the Manukau Magpies. Mount Wellington, they take on the Otara Scorpions at Thompson Park. And Waitemata Seagulls with the bye this week. So that's how things look in the qualifiers for the second division under this new format being run by the Auckland Rugby League. And we'll now jump to have a look at the Premiership, the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership qualifiers, and how things are tracking in that particular competition. And at the top, it is our live stream team today, the Northcote Tigers, a perfect 4 from 4, along with the Mount Albert Lions. And Troy, Northcote, they were a playoff team last year, but certainly in the case of the Mount Albert Lions, they've shown some real improvement under coach John Ackland. 2 points back are the Glenora Bears and Howick Hornets, both sitting on 6 competition points. And on 4 points with the 2 victories so far, Mangere East, Tahuhu, who of course shocked Point Chev with that big victory a couple of weeks ago. Marist also on 4 points. They picked up a big victory last week over Bay Roskell, which jumps them 2 points clear of the Vikings. And then a little further back, Papakura in desperate need of some points to get closer to that top 4 and away from the bottom 4, crucially. And then it's Richmond, Point Chevalier, and Manurewa at the bottom. So that's how things are positioned in the First Division qualifiers as we get into the second half of those. And a couple of big games on the offering today. Mount Albert up against Otahu, this sort of traditional rivalry which was so strong through the 80s in particular. That'll be a really good game at Bert Henham Park. Bay Roskell Vikings, they are at home to the Mangere East Hawks. We saw Bay Roskell in action last week, Troy. A pretty impressive team, although they went down in that game. Certainly some exciting talent in that Vikings
The
side.
fullback Vogel, he's got blistering speed. I mean, he's a talent to watch. Yeah, really exciting. And I'm looking forward to catching up with them next weekend, I believe.
Richmond take on Marist. This is a huge game for both of these two teams. Marist with a victory here can really put some space between themselves and that relegation zone. And for Richmond, well, they're getting into these sort of games where you have to beat the teams around you. So a big game for both sides there. Glenora, they're at home, well, home technically, Lawson Park, with Harold Moody Reserve unavailable. They're at home to the Howick Hornets, who are travelling pretty nicely. Of course, our live stream game today, Papakura versus Northcote, and then Point Chevalier versus the Manurewa Marlins. Now, not too many people would have predicted those two teams would be sitting next to each other at the bottom of the ladder pre-season, but a big game for both teams. For Manurewa, well, if they can spring a result here, That'll give them a whole lot of confidence going forward. And for Point Chevalier, well, simple as anything, they just need a victory and to get out of this hole.
Absolutely, and be fair to say the Pirates probably need victories back-to-back to stay in contention. So, shock for rugby league fans, that's what happens.
All right, so the two teams now making their way onto the field. We're going to bring up the team lists and run you through how they will take the field. And we'll start with the home team, the Papakura Seagulls, and there will be a number of changes to their team that is advertised on screen. The captain is Willie Stowers at the back, Andre Singh and Luke Armiger are the wingers, Ropati and Naden in the centres. Really good experienced halves pairing, Makari Beatty and Drew Radich. Drew Radich, the top point scorer in the Fox last year. Hemi Douglas and Zion Tasisi are in the front row, along with the Auckland Player of the Year, Phoenix Hunt. He will start at dummy half. In the back row, Seal Setafano, Terrell Suller and Taylor Polder locks the scrum. Junior Pitta, Fetu Ikehifo, Madi Matipo and Niraj Sahoto round out that team. We do apologise for that rather violent static that you will have just heard, ladies and gentlemen. A little problem with the ref's audio gear, but thankfully that has been resolved. And the away team today, the Northcote Tigers. Machu Stone Dunn, the man coming from Richmond last year. He's played a little bit of reserve grade football for the Warriors. He's one to watch at fullback. James Waterson, the competition's top try scorer last year. He's on one wing, along with Ted Donnelly on the other. Kenny Stewart and Amoa Tully in the centres. The halves, Tiaho and Timoti Cook up front. Finota will captain the team. And the back row, Nalu Tuigamala, Matthew Tafotu, Joe Bywater locks the scrum. And then on the bench, a couple of players to watch out for, but in particular, Manueli Vitiabua, who tends to add a little bit of spark off the bench. They're coached by Jeff Morton. So that's how they take the field today, ladies and gentlemen. Our middle referee is Hayden Price, as we see him go through his introductions here with the two teams. Of course, a few boys who will be familiar with each other between the two sides today.
And we'll bring the teams onto screen in a very short moment. I'd like to welcome everybody in from around the world, and especially our friends from Pacifica TV, beaming live to Samoa, Tonga, Papua New Guinea, Fiji, Cook Islands, and maybe one of our cameramen are on holiday in the islands, and he'll be back with us very shortly. There we go. So welcome in. This is going to be a fantastic game of rugby league. What a beautiful day it is down here at Prince Edward Park. Couldn't get any better conditions if we tried. And not a bad crowd here today either, Corey, looking around the grounds.
Yeah, and a nicer day than we experienced here last year. One of the colder games, I dare say, that we live streamed last year, Troy. It can get a little chilly here when the breeze comes up off the ocean in the background here at Prince Edward Park, but the field is in immaculate condition. The Northcote Tigers arrive in immaculate condition, a perfect 4 from 4. Not the case for the Papakura Seagulls, who won in round 1 before dropping 3 games, but plenty of time for them to turn it around. We know they've got the talent. It's a great squad on paper. We're all ready for a big, big match here in the latest round of competition play in the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership qualifiers. Thank you for joining in, ladies and gentlemen. 80 minutes of action about to come your way, live and free on aucklandleague.co.nz.
We anticipate the kickoff now, brought to you by CTAS, our live stream partners. Sponsors SAS Sporting Apparel.
So into it we go. It will be the Papakura Seagulls with first use of the ball. Running to the road end here at Prince Edward Park. And that first hit up is taken by Zion Tisisi. And now Seal Setafano. We saw him return to action last year after a break, struggled with some injuries. You can see that right knee is heavily strapped. That's messy, and in fact it's a knock-on. So a horror start for the Papakura Seagulls, and this will give Northcote an early opportunity to register points. And when you've been struggling for the last few weeks, certainly an error on the first set is not the way to build any confidence. So the scrum to pack down now, and it will pack down roughly 20 metres out from the line, it looks like. So Timoti Cook feeds the scrum. And Northcote go on the attack. David Barner, the hooker today. Josiah Afu out for a couple of weeks, so Barner assuming those hooking duties. Played a little bit of dummy half at NRL level, so he is no slouch in that department. Barner rushes to dummy half, goes out the back door, finds Timothy Cook. Machu Stone done. Tully has taken the ground. Donnelly now jumps in, and they head back towards the middle of the park, and they will settle now via Vihikiti. Bywater. Tiaho. Stone Dunn. Stone Dunn joins in, gets the offload out the back. We'll get our first try. It's Kenny Stewart who will open the scoring with a nicely worked right side move from the Northcote Tigers. Classy touches in there from Tiaho and Stone Dunn.
The SAS Fox replay here, you see them shaping up, putting a lot of pressure on the line, and coming off the back of a handling error for Papakura Seagulls. Tigers take the opportunity, and we see a little flick to the back door here. Nice little spread on the right edge. Held up a little defender there. Dummied, shaped. There it is. Crowded the space and centres in for the first try of the day. Tigers are on the board.
It'll be Nalu Tuingamala to attempt the conversion. Was in the Fox Team of the Year last year as a second rower. Can play in the centres as well. And a handy goal kicker to have around as well. That was big for them last year. Tuigamala's ability off the boot.
I like him too. He's a nice character. He's, you know, you'd be one of the fun guys in the team, but he knows how to turn it on when he needs to.
So Tuigamala strikes good off the boot and good all the way. So the Northcote Tigers out to an early 6-0 lead. The Northcote Tigers supported by North City Reinforcing Limited. Long-time sponsors of the club. Big shout out to Mike for all the work he does getting the sponsorship at the club as well. If you go up to Birkenhead War Memorial, you'll see a big board there with all of the work on there.
Yeah, Magic Mike doing a ton load of work around that. Yeah, good stuff.
Shout out to those local businesses as well for supporting the Northcote Tigers. So a bit of a shocker to start with for the Papakura Seagulls, but best part of 77 minutes to turn it around. Back into it we go. Tuigamala driving those legs forward. Slow play the ball, slowed down nicely by the Papakura Seagulls. Bywater now goes to first receiver, and now it's the Tigers' turn to put it down. Papakura want to play on here. It's picked up, and they go straight onto the attack. Ropati shakes out a one, still going as Ropati. They're 10 metres out from the line. Papakura with the chance to hit straight back here after conceding on the first set of the game. Through the middle they come now. This is Hemi Douglas. Radic. Stowers, big looping ball over the top. Singh hits it on the foot and then gets bumped into touch by Waterson. Nice little bit of play there from Willie Stowers chiming into the back line on that movement there, but the execution just a little bit off, and Northcote survive.
Yeah, not wrong on that, Corey. They certainly, created the opportunity there in the past, just didn't meet the catch. And we see the scrum starting to form now, and Tigers a little bit of opportunity to have the pressure off them as they get ready to feed the scrum.
Is it? Yep. Oh. That's good.
So Stewart, the try scorer, tasked with the first carry. This Northcote team went through to the playoffs, returned to the playoffs for the first time in a long time last year. Suffered a heartbreaking late loss to the Howell Hornets, which knocked them out, but they've been a team that's been building for a number of years. Struck a bit of a blow with the loss of the likes of Taylor Daniels last year and Trent Shomkul, two of their best forwards. We see the trainer getting telling off in the background there, and it won't be the final time we hear that little chat this year, I dare say. The trainer taking his time as well.
He's strapped too by the looks of it. Trainer's carrying an injury. Time on.
So back into it we go. Timothy Cook turns back onto the inside. Hitting it at pace was Amoa Tuli. He's 22-year-old, and they get a penalty as well. Too long in the tackle is the call. Sulla, I believe, the man to infringe that time. And now Northcote, with the first penalty of the game, will kick for touch from about their 30.
There's our mark, mate. Don't go past it for you. Yep.
Not bad as the steed ends up in the trees down here at Prince Edward.
Hold for contact on the ball. Wait for foot.
Do you say that's a man in a Carroll Park Diehards t-shirt? I bet you he's enjoying himself today.
Down, markers now. Hold left.
Bywater hits the line hard and gets the second phase as well. Barner now directing traffic on the move. Tuigamala chimes in. Got Stewart on his outside. Stewart into a gap here. Kenny Stewart, he's got an early double. Kenny Stewart races away 15 metres out from the line, and a double in the space of the first 7 minutes here at Prince Edward Park, and Northcote with the chance to double their advantage.
As we wait for the SAS Sporting replay. And Wink Tuigamala held up nice here. A couple of defenders stayed on him. He really created the doubt there, and for the big centre to absolutely go through untouched. Had a nice little turn of space and touches down just on the right edge. Tigers back in again, on the prowl for another try.
Good line.
Bit of analysis from the referee in the background there, just saying the centre had a good line. Fairly on the money as well, I'd say.
Well, he's probably got one of the best seats in the house as the referees, and if you're wanting to be a referee, get online to the aucklandleague.co.nz. They'd love to have a lot of talent and volunteers down there, and if you're looking to become a referee, please do that online, and also you're going to have to help me with the
the Auckland Rugby League Referees Association, probably through the Facebook page is the best way to do that, or arlrefs.co.nz. And great to see more and more young people getting involved in that as well. And of course, Troy, we work with a couple of the real rising referee stars in Auckland, Viggo Rasmussen and Rochelle Tamarua, who I believe are both doing Fox games today. They'll be underway there. So Tuigamala now a little more difficult than his first attempt, which he nailed, and it was just gone under. So on target, but just lacked the legs that time, and it will be Northcote 10, Papakura Seagulls 0. Just about 9 minutes gone here at Prince Edward Park.
Big shout out to the Northcote Tiger ball boys as they go by.
Oh, one coming left side.
Yep.
Thank you.
So, steed him back to the halfway.
He won't have caught it on the camera that the Papakura player went over and asked for the ball from the Northcote ball boys, and they politely told him to find his own. So back into it we go. Whenota now with the first carry, and down low was Naden. Did get Big Eddie to ground eventually, and come out to this right side again where they have found success. Both of their tries come down that corridor to Kenny Stewart. Barner back in field to Whenota. Seal set to Whanau involved in the tackle that time, along with Phoenix Hunt.
Big contact too, you could hear it from here.
Tuigamala now winds up and drives those legs up over halfway, making good yardage here of the Tigers. Barner short to Joe Bywater, and Bywater makes another 10 as well. Still on his feet as well, eventually taking the ground. Last tackle coming up now. Barner swings it out the back. They go high off the boot of Tiaho. Pressure on at the back for Stowers. Takes it beautifully. And then gets digged to ground about 5 out from the line. Really good set that time after points for the Northcote Tigers.
See one of the big bookends there, getting back into the grind. Seagulls trying to bring it out from inside the 20, 30.
Luke Armiger, usually a dummy half, playing on the wing today, showing his versatility. Andre Singh comes in looking for a little bit of work. He's backing up from the New Zealand Defence Force game played on Anzac Day before the Warriors vs Storm match. The New Zealand side going down to Australia in a tight loss in that one. Great experience for all involved. Hunt clears the ruck, goes to Radic. Radic goes high and long. Stone Dunn takes it uncontested, and then looks up and sees a wall of red and gets taken down on the first attempt.
12, you don't need it, not needed, 12. Watch it. 1,
Stewart now jumps at a dummy half, looking for a bit of work.
2, up. Hold, go.
Waterson. 5 short of halfway now, the Northcote Tigers.
Hold.
Working it well through the middle of the park, aren't they? Here's the captain, Finota. Goes up over halfway. Barner jumps out, steals a few cheap meters there, David Barner. Nice work. 30 out from the line now. Stone done. To Timothy Cook, who's going to run it. Kicks in behind. The chase is good. Stowers picks it up. A couple of good early takes for Willie Stowers, someone we're used to seeing in the halves, Troy, but does have that ability to play across the park, and at fullback at times is afforded probably a little more space, doesn't have to do quite the defensive work.
He's looked pretty sharp back there on the the opening minutes of this match, and I think that'll give the Seagulls a bit of confidence having Willie as the last line of defence.
So Papakura get their first penalty of the match, and as a result they will start that set from the 40, and then Makati Beatty steals a cheap 10 metres and they get another penalty. Well, there we go. They waited 12 minutes for their first penalty and then 30 seconds between their first and second, and this will give the Seagulls a real chance to build some pressure, and they've had hardly any possession so far in this game, certainly not down this end of the park. So a chance now to build their way into this match. They are 10 points down already. So Sulla charged with the first carry. Looking for an offload, gets it as well. Swing it out the back. Polder. Still playing now. Nice little bit of second phase from the Seagulls. Slow play the ball. Phoenix Hunt at dummy half. Comes back towards the middle of the park, and now they work it forward via Pitta. Hunt, quick play the ball. Danger signs here for the Northcote Tigers. Stowers chimes in, ball comes loose. It's put down now. Stone Dunn picks it up. Look out if they counter-attack here. They do well to contain them. 20 out from the line. Once again, the Seagulls showed some really nice touches on that little move out to the left edge, but it just did not come off in the end, and now Northcote will get a penalty, so they compound it with the penalty, and certainly the call was there that the tackle was complete, and Papakura went on with the job.
A couple of penalties each way at this point in the game. Handling errors, Papakura Seagulls winning that, and I dare say that's not a stat that the coach will want to have. What happened there? Oh, yep, and quick taps taken. No, he has pulled them inside the 10. Is that what
Two
happened?
balls on the field.
Okay.
So back to it we go. Barner.
Don't put your head in, 10. Go 2.
Finota.
Excuse me.
Barner steals some more cheap meters. Identifying that ruck nicely through the opening 15 minutes. Tiaho, the dummy half. To Timothy Cook. Tafutu gets to his play of the ball. Now Timothy Cook, he just had a little look up, and that was all it took to come up with the error there, but not a bad place to finish the set anyway, and the Northcote Tigers now prepare to try and trap Papakura down here. If there's an arm wrestle going on right now, the Tigers are winning it, as Stowers gets his hand on the ball, plays nicely at the line. That is good play from the Seagulls, and they pick up 10 or 15 metres as a result through Armiger. Stowers playing a whole lot at first receiver as Naden changes direction, shakes out a 1, weaving his way to about 15 metres, and he'll be taken down just metres short of halfway and get the penalty off the back of it.
Yeah, he's very elusive there on the evading the tackles. Showed some great footwork.
Sorry. Repeat.
What can the Sea Eagles do from this part of the field? We're about to find out.
Go.
So Ropati gets to play the ball. Salah will change of direction at the line. Looking for that quick play of the ball. Barner tangled up in there. Beatty. Radic to
Nice
seal
pass.
Stefano. He's big, he's strong.
Shot.
Gets the offload away. Oh, breaks down. Knock on the call. Boy, oh boy, so close that time. Willie Stowers getting on the end of that Stefano offload.
Out here, guys. Tackle
And it
three.
wasn't far off. They have had 3 legitimate chances to score tries. Last pass has led them astray every time so far, Papakura, but promising signs for the home team here, generating some real opportunities in attack.
Yeah, just seem to be taking their time to get into the match. And I think there's still more to come.
Okay, front row. Hey, what did I just say, mate? That was last warning.
Look very enterprising on that wave of attack.
Hey, 12 on front of the line. 12, get on the line. Ball in.
So Tiaho feeds the scrum. And Donnelly puts it down. Well, careful, this might be a try here to Papakura. Everyone sort of looked around after that knock on it. They were waiting for a stoppage and play. It's play on. Phoenix Hunt now shuffles the ball out to the right edge. Polder will go close. Polder will score, I think. Taylor Polder gets the home team on the board after that mistake from Donnelly coming out of yardage. Polder just barges his way over next to the SAS uprights, and the Seagulls, they register their first points of the day.
SAS Fox replay from the back of that error.
Here's your teammate.
Quick play the ball from the ruck, and you can see just showing a lot of determination there, and he dragged the defender across the line. So against the grain, we'd have to say, Papakura Seagulls 4 points on.
So Radic from in front. He doesn't miss from there and makes it Northcote Tigers 10, Papakura Seagulls 6. 18 and a half minutes gone here at Prince Edward Park. And Seagulls, they needed that one, Troy. They had a fair bit of possession down there. We just spoke to the fact that they were creating opportunities, but you got the feeling some frustration was starting to build. That should go some way to easing it.
Absolutely. I think Tigers were looking pretty impressive around their completion rate. You know, they were certainly having the flow, and that against that handling error, you know, that try sort of, you know, was against the grain of the action that we've been looking. But that said, I think Papakura now will get a wee bit of a tail up, and let's see what they do from this kickoff.
So high one to get us back underway. Radic is under it, takes it and then hands off to the big fella, to Sissi. Stefano.
Big man, tracks 3 defenders.
Indeed, 3 to get him down, and then they do well to slow it down as well. Joe Bywater holding on for dear life, too long in fact.
Get out of it.
Get up and get out of it is a call from referee Price.
Like their trainer, you're just lingering, watering off. No, you're just telling them. I just watch you for 3 tackles. You just sit there for 3
And another trainer telling off.
Take it. My advice.
Yep.
Don't take that. Thank you.
Tigers, you know, guilty there of a couple of cheap penalties for the Seagulls. Now they get another opportunity here to march down the field.
Yep. Fine, guys.
To the 50.
Guys, it won't keep penalising all day. Sort it out.
So back into it we go.
Together. All the way. Go 1.
Salah. Tackled well down low though, and again gets dumped on his back. Barner involved in there as well. We know he certainly can hit in defence. BT to the other back rower. This is the 11 junior pitter. Radic had to reach back for that pass. They got the back now to Stowers. Stowers to a little half gap to Naden. And it gets put down. Play on is the call. It's gone backwards, so they will continue and hold on to the ball. Perhaps dodge a bullet that time, the Seagulls. We're on tackle 5, and we've got a player down in the background there. The trainer's on field attending to him. Looks like it maybe perhaps a shoulder complaint. So we wait for that to be dealt with. But boy, oh boy, they look really good, Troy, when Willie Stowers chimes into this line, particularly down this left corridor. Plenty of attacking opportunities presenting themselves for the Seagulls, and they've got spark all across the park, it would seem. So the Seagulls, this will be last tackle by the time we get back to it.
Here we are, guys, here we are. One line, on the left.
So they'll be looking for a really good kick here.
Radic looks to the sky. It's a high one. It's a tester. Donnelly puts it down. Picked up by Polder. We got a penalty. And it's going to go the way of Northcote. So offside the call
10 metres.
for Papakura. Ted Donnelly breathes a sigh of relief. That's the second one he's put down in a few minutes. And he may have picked up an injury here as well, Donnelly.
Where we going? He's at the back, mate. We're going this way. Let's go. Okay.
So they kick for touch after the offside penalty.
All right, boys, here
To
we
the
are.
crowd here at Prince Edward
Wait
Park.
for contact, guys. Wait for contact. Hold. Go on.
Tafutu just about goes straight through the middle. Beatty holding on for dear life down low. They get to a quick play of the ball as well. But the momentum starting to build here for the Tigers. Barner wants another quick play of the ball. Doing his best to keep Tully on his feet. They come back to the middle of the park, and this is fresh legs on the park in the shape of Seo Tafiti.
Hold.
Bywater misses out Finota, goes up the back to Tiaho, I think it is, and we've got an obstruction. So this will go the way of the Papakura Seagulls.
No.
So a penalty each way in quick succession. Andre Singh wanted the quick tap.
You're off the mark.
So Radic now will instead kick for touch up over the commentary unit here, and narrowly dodges Grant from CTAS's car, which he has.
Got $100 on hitting that car.
He's worked very hard to protect it today. So Singh goes forward and then gets popped down. Was in a dangerous position for a minute there, but all good by the end of it. Radic clears the ruck. Setafano to the line. Setafano driving those legs. He got the arm free. Held on to it though. Phoenix Hunt now is the dummy half. Polder. Short.
Nice
Polder
ball.
to Pitta. Right up against the line now, Northcote. Another penalty. And we're going to have time off and a talking to here. It's a couple of penalties in a row.
Crazy.
And Finota called out for a telling off.
Eddie, we've had 3 or 4 in the ruck, and I'm trying to work with them. It's just, again, effort, again.
Yeah, Northcote will be
We
looking to
need
show a wee bit of
rolling away.
patience around
No
that,
more
hence the
otherwise someone's gonna
conversation
sit
being taken
Okay.
place by the man in the middle.
out. Absolutely. Going back on.
So back into it we go.
Move now!
Ika Hihifo
Wait.
tackled right in front of the SAS upright. Phoenix Hunt, looping ball out the back. Salah gets the offload away to Beatty. Little hop and a skip. Ball is hit down by Tuigamala. This will be 6 again, but it was a crucial intervention that time as they look to work the ball out towards the left-hand side of the post. So much size in this Papakura pack, Troy. How long can Northcote hold on? They're sending all the big boys at them right now.
Front row.
Yeah, bit of a common theme, you know, the top sides are live, you know, fit, young-looking side as well, but it's been proving, you know, turning up good tricks for them, so they're pretty fit. They'll have to stay with them.
Beatty holding on for dear life was Timothy Cook.
More than get up, more than get up. Hold.
They're 10 out from the line. Ropati
2-9 now.
meeting good, solid contact.
Hold.
Hunt goes out the back. Stowers to Polder. They're setting up for a set play here, I think. Willie Stowers directing traffic in the background. Hunt to Radic to Setafano. He's got half the Northcote team hanging off him by the end of it, and then he's taken the ground 10 out. Phoenix Hunt now
Great
gets
run.
to a quick play of the ball. Watch his little dart here. Hunt will go close. Good defence from Northcote. Last tackle coming up. Radic, the halfback, is at dummy half. Are they going to go short side? Yes, they are. Off the kick. Whose ball is this?
Nah, not played it.
Not played at the call. This will be a handover to Northcote. Well done, Tigers.
Handover.
Faced plenty of pressure that time around, but just kept showing up. In particular, that tackle on Phoenix Hunt when he jumped out of dummy half, a crucial one. And the Tigers hold on and now work it out from inside their 10.
Here we go. Move! Okay. Hold. Have a look for Sting. Go. One.
Waterson comes in for a bit of work. Setafano takes out the legs and then to ground. Barner appealing for a penalty. Donnelly now lines up for one.
Oh, big hit. Welcome to Prince Edward.
Go through.
Bywater.
Ball off the ball. Marking square.
Fourth tackle and they're 40 metres off the line here, the Tigers. They swing it out the back. Are they going to kick early? They're going to do just that.
Thank you.
Tracking back is Armiger. Stowers is up to it, and Stowers looks up, finds Armiger again, and then Armiger gets met and dragged back 5 metres. Really good kick chase that time from Timothy Cook, who was the kicker. And Ropati now comes in. He's taken the ground, ball's loose. Is that a strip? No, it's play on. So this will be Northcote ball. And they get it back just with the physicality of their defence that time, Troy. And it starts with a really good kick chase.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just interested to see. No.
Hey guys.
Can you pick the ref audio up on that?
Mark
Yep.
here. You're going this way just because I go that way.
What
You
was
guys
the
stay
call?
here. Thank you.
It was.
All right. Where's your Lucy? Hey guys, we need to have this faster. Head. Ball. Up.
So back to it we go. Tully works down the short side. BT tackles down low. Armiger has to come in to finish it off. They're 10 out from the line here, the Tigers. Looking for their third try of the game. Vitinia Bua shakes out a one. Still going.
Release now.
Eventually wrestled and put into an awkward position to slow that play the ball down. Tafiti. Will they come to this right side where they've already found 2 tries? It's shaping that way. Timothy Cook to Barner. Barner to Bywater. Bywater at the line. He was thinking second phase, but well wrapped up by Setafano.
Hold. Hold.
Barner to Tiaho. Tiaho holds it up to Tuigamala. Tuigamala shakes out a 1, shakes out a 2. He goes all the way to the try line, and Nalu Tuigamala has Northcote's third. And once again, it's down that right-hand side for the Tigers. 3 times they've gone down there. 3 tries to show for it.
As we wait for the SAS 14 replay, I think he's proven to be a handful as Tuangamala. So as Corey rightly said, they've shifted to the right, and every time this man is on the scene, he's putting the defenders at 6s and 7s and just too strong upstairs, and he goes across the line for a try. Tigers, 4 points.
It was interesting to watch Papakura's talk in defence that time. They certainly were aware that it was probably coming down that way, but I guess sometimes, even if you got the numbers there, if the run's strong enough, it doesn't really matter. And Big Nalu powers his way over as we wait for the kick, which will be taken by Tuigamala as well.
It looks like it's a cookie cut from the same place
Now, thanks, bud.
as he's had a crack at for the conversion the last couple of times. So he might have found his range on this one.
9.
Not bad.
Kick's good. And Tuigamala makes it. Northcote Tigers 16, Papakura Seagulls 6. 29 minutes gone here at Prince Edward Park. You're joining us for round 5 of the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership qualifiers. 11 rounds of these qualifiers to be played, with the top 8 remaining in the first division and the bottom 4 dropping down to the Fox Championship. Right now, Papakura in danger of being in that bottom 4. The Northcote Tigers, no such worries for them. They are at the top of the ladder with the Mount Albert Lions, a perfect 4 from 4. And as things are shaping right now, they are looking good to pick up their 5th victory. Of course, still a long way to go here at Prince Edward Park, and the Seagulls team have shown when they get it right, they're pretty lethal down in attacking territory.
Put it in your mouth, eh? Oi, I mean it. Time out, run! What? Okay. No early strike.
Absolute stunning day here for rugby league at Prince Edward.
Good.
So Barner, he lines up, takes it straight back. That's a heck of a carry from David Barner. The offload, probably a little scary for Coach Jeff Morton, but it's cleaned up in the end by Timothy Cook. Fetini Abua looks to have assumed those dummy half duties, and David Barner's gone into the pack.
Movement, Marcus. Hold it. Go through.
Tafotu works the short side. Rukatipaina. Fetini Abua jumps out, sees there's no marker and says, I'll take those meters, gets to his front as well. It's a good carry from the interchange man. Barner swings it out the back to Tiaho. This is a good set after point, so they're going to find more on the end of it. Armiger safe under that high ball and takes it well. Northcote Tigers doing everything right so far. Willie Stowers now gets it. He's tackled down low by Tiaho, and then a couple come in late to finish it off. Andre Singh now lines up for a carry.
Movement now! Go three. Ball roll away. Good. Four. Square. Final. Now release. Good work. We good?
So last tackle now. BT will kick from dummy half. He splits Donnelly and Stone Dunn. Donnelly picks it up and will return this one. He's met by good defence as well. So Papakura Seagulls, decent set that time and starting to perhaps find their way into the grind a little bit with some of these sets. Been involved in close games all throughout this year. They only have the one victory to show for it. As Stone Dunn comes in looking for a little bit of work. Former Richmond man, he's played some cup football for the Warriors. And one of the best fullbacks in the competition. Still only 24 years of age. As Tafotu now puts that one down. The ball is loose, and this will finish in a scrum to the Papakura Seagulls.
Smack bang on the halfway. Tigers coming up to get ready for the pack-in.
Right, guys, we've got some replacements on. Second rowers, we need to bind together. Arms over, thank you. Okay. I'm over.
So BT defeat the scrum, which is packed down smack bam on halfway. 7 minutes to play in this half. It is the Northcote Tigers who lead 16-6 over the Papakura Seagulls.
Go one.
Setefano winds up. Met well though. Really good contact. Kenny Stewart involved, along with Mafui.
Oh,
Big contact, but it's a penalty. Dangerous position is the call. So
I don't
back-to-back
think
sets
any
coming
mouse
up
on that. Sorry,
for
mate.
Papakura. No, you're quite right, Troy. No malice in that. Of course, you hear dangerous position and you sort of think people are being reckless, but sometimes these things do happen, and you're quite right to point out no intention in that one. Naden now.
Move now. Hold. Go.
Matipo on his Fox debut. He's the man to clear dummy half. They work it out to this right-hand side. Stowers shakes out a one. Stowers still going.
Move now. Line. Hold. Go two.
Ropati to BT to Pitta. Pitta will go hard and straight. 10 out from the line. Matipo. Radic. Setefano looking for an offload. Gets it this time. Singh now takes on Waterson. Waterson wins that round. Takes him to ground. 10 out. They drive him back a few more metres. Naden is the dummy half now. They're going to come centre field again. Setefano turns ball player this time. Last tackle coming up. Options left and right now for the Seagulls. Matipo clears the ruck, goes to BT. BT dribbles a kick in behind. It's loose. It's knocked back in the end to Stone Dunn, and the end result is that Northcote get out of the end goal. Ball is loose. Penalty's going to be the call.
I called held and the ball's come out. I've got a strip call.
Going on with the tackle that time, and the ball comes loose.
couple of supporters over on the far side there helping the referee with that one. He believed it was stripping.
You got to watch. You're going in between the legs and left hand. No more. Thank you. Technique, eh?
So alleviates a little bit of pressure as the Tigers look to get outside the 30.
Yep. Oh. Go.
So Tafotu charging off the back fence. He is the first carrier for the Tigers as we enter the final 5 minutes of this first half. Tuli scored a hat-trick a few weeks ago for them. Pretty strong out there in the centres. Vitiniabua. Mafoi it is. Timoti Cook now to Ruka Tipaina. Inside, the attacking 40 now. They miss out Barner. Go to Tiaho. Tiaho now to Tuigamala back on the inside. Looked good, but Papakura up to it and quick to set upon. Stone done. Tiaho down this right-hand side once again. Sing on hand to clean it up. Looks up and sees plenty of yellow and black jerseys, and they take him to ground 15 out from the line. Both teams putting together a number of good sets so far in this one, Troy, and certainly looking forward to the second half. It's all shaping as a fairly high-quality game, as in the background we hear another penalty blown and the Seagulls given a piggyback out of their own end. Radic will kick for touch.
Just missed his car again. Barker.
It's in front. He's in front of the line. Go.
So Naden with the tap and the go. Shakes out a one, shakes out a two, still going as Naden. He's been an elusive runner so far in this game, has the centre, the 20-year-old Papakura Jr. Represented rugby for Counties Manukau at under-19 level as well. Setafano.
Getting through some work, isn't he?
He is indeed. He's been impressive out on this left-hand side. Polder goes backdoor to Beatty. Hanging on his shoulders, guess who? It's Willie Stowers in for another run. Stowers dancing his way out of one. Not getting out of that one though. Fourth tackle now, Radic. To Setafano, Setafano to the line. Watch for the offload, it's not going to come this time. Last tackle coming up. Naden at dummy half. Comes back towards the middle, Radic. He's going to kick, it's a driven one across the face. Pressure on Donnelly, won't get near it. Luke Armiger on the full. And Armiger gets over for Papakura's second, but what about that, Troy? The accuracy of the kick and the way Luke Armiger attacks this, Northcote had no hope.
SAS Fox Memorial replay, and as Corey rightly said, what a fabulous kick this was. Shaped this up really well, did the half. Just took his time, pinpoint accuracy. Drifting, and he didn't really wait for that. He charged straight onto that ball, didn't even stop going through, collected it, and basically brought that round for a better attack for the conversion kick, and 4 points for the Seagulls on the board.
Drew Radici was a halfback in the Fox Team of the Year last year. It's not hard to see why. He's managed this game pretty well so far. And that time, the kick was on the money. And, Armiger only too happy to scoop it up and claim a try from out there on the wing. So we're almost at half-time. By our count, we've got a minute left. As Radic steps in, strikes it, flags are up, and we have a game on our hands as we head into the second 40 here at Prince Edward Park. It is the Northcote Tigers 16, Papakura Seagulls 12. 2 converted tries for the Seagulls. Northcote running in 3 tries, 2 of them converted by Nalu Tuigamala.
Where we going? Where we going? Time out, run, guys. Oh, you're right, you're right. Time out, run, guys. No early, Tigers! No. Thank you.
So a high one for BT to claim. A swerve straight away for him.
We're here. Oh, go one. Move! Hold!
Pitta.
Go two. Good work, good work. Now, go
Ball's
back,
loose, gone
play
back.
on.
Stowers picks it up, and they're almost at half time here, the Seagulls. They need to perhaps be a little more conservative in their approach right now. Matipo jumps out of dummy half, takes them to the 40. Last tackle coming up.
No markers, not there. 4.
Apologies, it's 4th. They've got one more up their sleeve. Tuigamala takes him to ground right on halfway. Matipo the dummy half. Beatty will kick. It's a long one. The siren goes in the background. Stone Dunn picks this up, and we'll see how interested he is. He's very interested as it stands, and that may prove to be a costly run there. I think he's done his hammy here, Stone Dunn, just as he started to accelerate. Certainly something went in the background there. Well, it looked bad at first, but he's back up to his feet, so maybe just a little twinge there. I'm sure he'll get some physio care at halftime. So it is the Northcote Tigers who lead 16 points to 12 over the Papakura Seagulls after 40 minutes here at Prince Edward Park. A very short break for us before we resume with the second half action from Prince Edward Park.
Don't go too far away. We catch up now with ARL TV News and what's been going down around the grounds during this week.
Hello everyone, welcome to this week's edition of ARL TV News. Let's take a look at what's happening around the grounds. We've got a Gala Day wrap, the tertiary Kiwi Tag Challenge and our live stream action. The Gala Day wrap, congratulations to all teams that were awarded Best and Fairest Awards at the Under 11s Gala Day yesterday. It was a fun but wet day. Catch the wrap and photos on our website at aucklandleague.co.nz. Now tertiary Kiwi Tag Challenge, calling all institutions and students ages between 14 and 18 to get on board our tertiary Kiwi Tag Challenge. Contact TJ Ashford to register a team today at aucklandleague.co.nz. Now a live stream action. Catch us live this Saturday at the home of the Sea Eagles, Papakura at Prince Edward Park. Catch Papakura versus the Northcote Tigers, kick off from 2:30 PM. Tune in live at aucklandleague.co.nz. Now let's take a look at the Premiership ladders. The Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship. The Otara Scorpions are at the top of the table, followed by the Te Aratu Roosters, and at the other end, Ponsonby and Papatoetoe are yet without a win. Now to the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership ladder. Northcote are at the top, followed by the Mount Albert Lions, and at the other end, the Point Chevalier Pirates and the Manero Marlins are at the bottom of the table. That's all for this week. I'm Savannah Tufau-Levy. We'll see you around.
G'day, Vega Rasmussen here from the Auckland Rugby League Coaching and Development Department. I'm in charge of running all our coaching programs here at Auckland Rugby League, ranging from mini-mod under 6 to under 12s, international grades under 13 to under 20, and we also help assist in the facilitation of the senior club coaching course with NZRL. These are run at the beginning and the end of the season. Alongside this, we also run workshops which help further develop and upskill our coaches. Joining all the dots, we have our ARL Connecting Coaches Facebook page. If you have Facebook, jump on it. It's a great forum to share ideas and talk about common things happening within the rugby league space. For more information, visit www.aucklandleague.co.nz.
What? All the action. Oh, yeah.
Kia ora, my name is George Edwards from the beautiful club Papakura Seagulls, and you'll catch us live on aucklandleague.com.
Oh, sweet.
Hi, my name is Raka Carlo, play for the Papakura Jaguars. You can catch us live on aucklandleague.co.nz.
Kenneth Henry, Barrow School. See all the action, aucklandleague.co.nz.
Hi, my name is Lewis Holani. I play for the Otara Scorpions. Catch us live on aucklandleague.co.nz.
'Cause 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 'cause
Eddie Fingota, Northcote Tigers. Yeah. Can I get another? Yeah. Eddie Fingota, Northcote Tigers. Catch us live on www.aucklandrugbyleague.co.nz. Jared Tua, Te Aratu Roosters. Catch all the league on auckland.co.nz.
Kia ora, George Edwards here from Papakura Seagulls, and you'll catch us live on aucklandleague.co.nz.
Eddie Fingota, Northcote Tigers. Catch us live on aucklandleague.co.nz.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our game of Auckland Rugby League TV, brought to you by CTAS, our live stream partners. On the screens of the I'm getting my breath back. I've been running around the park. Papakura Seagulls. And we've got about 5 minutes before kickoff. Here at Prince Edward Park, beautiful day for rugby league. And they're up against the Northcote Tigers. For all of the results and the replays, they'll be up on the Auckland Rugby League YouTube channel, and you'll be able to see all of this year's action backed up for replays throughout the season. To get to that, go online, www.aucklandleague.co.nz. So we get ready now for Corey Rossa to join us. So I can breathe.
You take a break, Troy. You've been working hard at half-time, doing a little bit of operational stuff in the background with the two teams. We've got some half-time results for you as well from the competitions. A couple from the Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship. Te Aratu are up 16-6 over Ponsonby at half-time. The Pakuranga Jaguars are up 16-12 over the Manukau Magpies, and Otara, they're in a bit of a dogfight against the Mount Wellington Warriors. They're leading 12 points to 8 at half-time. And in the first division, Mount Albert Lions, they lead 14-12 at half-time over Otahuhu. Marist, they're up 30-10 over the Richmond Bulldogs. It's a big result for Marist if they can hold on. And the Howick Hornets, 16-0 leaders over the Glenora Bears at the break. Well, the Point Chevalier Pirates, they're in control, 26-0 over the Manurewa Marlins at the break.
Boys starting to warm up now. During the live stream matches, we have a 10-minute break just as we swap over hard drives and back some data up. And we're always backing data up. You can ask Grant about that from CTAS.
Tune in for the rugby league, stay for the referee chat in the background about a broken boot. There you go. That's a little extra for you today.
Are you picking that up on the audio? You asked that earlier during the match in the first half. Seems to be a wee bit of coaching and education going on for the second rowers and a few of the scrums that are packing down there, Corey.
Yeah, that's right. It's sort of a common theme across all levels of rugby league these days. We see it even in the NRL where whether it's pedantic or players simply aren't packing the scrum correctly, but it does tend to chew up a fair bit of airtime. No different in the Auckland comp. So Stone Dunn is going off in the background, and Troy, we saw him go down with what looked like a hammy, and then he got up okay at the back end of the first half. Well, he is leaving the field, and it looks like his day may well be over.